Welcome to Justin Miller Art. The Latin American contemporary art market is burgeoning, and there's no better place to look for works from this region than the annual PINTA Modern and Contemporary Latin American Art Show in London. I recently had the pleasure of speaking with the director of PINTA. This show was founded in New York some 5 years ago and is now enjoying great success in London. Welcome to PINTA. I'm sure you'll agree this fair provides a fascinating insight into the art from the dynamic Latin American region. PINTA, the annual Latin American art fair held in London in summer, showcases some of the most dynamic artists working in the region today. The 53 dealers that attended this year came from all over the world to exhibit some of the freshest works from this dynamic region. This year, the works of the 95-year-old Chilean artist Matilde Perez are being highlighted. And in fact, you can see one spinning around behind me. Matilde Perez is one of the most noted and celebrated kinetic artists alive, and one of the few women who have developed an acclaimed oeuvre in this field. This retrospective represents her key explorations of the field of optical illusion, where she developed a poetic reflection of the cube. I find her work so individual, disciplined, and she always seems to me to have been way ahead of her time. With a career that spans 20 solo shows from Madrid to Havana, it was really exciting to see her work as the centrepiece of the PINTA Art Fair in London this year. The institutional director of PINTA is Mauro Helitska, a heavy hitter in the Latin American art scene. He's a member of the Acquisition Fund for the Tate Modern, as well as a member of the International Council of the Museum of Modern Art in New York. I spoke with him about the ever-growing success of the Latin American PINTA Art Fair.
Welcome, we are very proud about PINTA, the third edition here in London. It's a 6-year term. We're doing PINTA in New York and now the third one here.
Fantastic. And how has New York been going for you?
They're doing very well. It's an increasing market also. Well, to have in the two cultural biggest centers in the world, New York and London.
Yes, well,
for
certainly
it's great.
It's so good for Latin American art, and certainly it seems so fresh. That's what I love about it.
Yes, it's also freshness, but also new understanding about Latin American art, new crossing bridges between Latin American art, theory, history, with a full international context.
Yes, of course. And so this year I've noticed there seems to be quite a concentration on op art. Is that so?
Well, it's a lot of abstraction art from the 50s, the early, maybe late 40s, early 50s, and all till the mid-60s that has an important setting of works that come from galleries from Brazil, Argentina, Spain, and New York too.
And certainly it's a growing market.
It's a growing market that was developed in the last years, and also the conceptual works and contemporary works indeed are very part of this fair.
Yes, and tell me, how many exhibitors do you have at PINTA this year?
It's about 55 exhibitors.
55,
yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's more a boutique fair. We want to balance between offer and demand, and I think it's a just size to have a Latin American fair here in London.
Well, that's right, and not only dealers from Latin America by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you have dealers from Milano and dealers from New York. You have dealers from all over the place.
Venezuela,
yes.
From London too.
Yes, that's
no,
fantastic.
we're very proud about that.
Oh, I think it's a wonderful achievement, and I think it's increasingly becoming a very, very important stop for people when they're looking at their artworks worldwide.
Yes, and also here in London the public is very heterodox on the way they like to see things, different things, and I think it's a great opportunity both to make contacts for the public, the collectors, and the art dealers and the artists all together.
As we Australian collectors look beyond our own shores, I've observed a huge rise in interest in fairs taking place in Hong Kong, Basel, and Miami. But don't forget PINTA, which focuses so closely on the Latin American region, an area that already has a following amongst some of the world's most powerful collectors. PINTA is rapidly establishing itself as a must-visit on the global art fair trail.